connect with the world beyond their prison cell, their facility, and to see they can be part of a global community and to see them as intelligent, smart, critical thinkers, giving them skills to be successful not only while they're in prison but on release. And this is such an important initiative that has so many societal implications well beyond chess. So thank you for including me, and I'm happy to be here.
And Ross, you
Us.
have done
Thank
such an
you.
amazing job promoting chess across the world, promoting the love of chess across the world with your initiative. Tell us a bit about your project, The Gift of Chess, and what you guys have done in the year since the inception.
Well, I think, it goes back to when I was a child, and my grandmother, when I was 6 years old, she gave me my very own chess set. And it was a gift that has given me so much in my life, intellectually, giving me a space to think critically, to be creative, but also surrounded me by a community of people that's truly inspired me all over the world. I'm on a call now that's includes a global community in places that are far beyond where I grew up. I'm now calling people friends. And even on this call, Dr. Corman's a dear friend of mine, and he lives in Chicago. I'm in New York. But through the game of chess, we've developed a strong friendship, and just that the essence of that has been a thread throughout my entire life. And I got involved in chess education in New York in 2007 and 2008, providing school programs. And once again, it was just the more that we got chess in front of children, the great outcomes would come. We didn't invent the game of chess; it was just getting greater access to the game to more students. And every time we introduced chess in a thoughtful way to students, magic would happen over and over and over again. Lives are being transformed, communities were being built, kids are becoming critical thinkers, opportunities are being sparked. And then we went into COVID, and all of our programs in New York were shut because of the pandemic. And our programs, we had 10,000 students in New York that went online overnight. And our response was to move them virtually. So we used technology adapts well to the game of chess. So we moved our program online for a year and a half. What happened was the physical connectivity of the game of chess was lost, and our
Mhm.
communities
Mhm.
began to fray because the game of chess, at the very essence, it's a two-player game, and there's nothing more human than sitting across from another person and sharing in just being together in those moments. The game of
Yeah.
chess is the convergence point, but what happens beyond that is life and moments and joy and shared ideas. And so our community began to fray because we even though we had the game of chess that plays very well online, the community aspect of sitting across the board from somebody was truly lost during those moments of COVID. So came up with the idea of purchasing 10,000 chess sets from China, bringing them into the United States, and giving every one of our students that was siloed in their own apartments across New York City during a very difficult time, their own chess sets so they can play and take what they've been learning virtually online during the last year and a half,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
maybe they can bring that and they can share that with a friend or their siblings or an aunt or uncle, and just give them an entry point to reconnect physically and to give them a way to do that through the game of chess. And we called it the gift of chess. The gift is always the chess has always been a gift to me, and we felt like we were giving some these 10,000 students a gift. And as it began to evolve, people all over the world started to see what we were doing with this idea of giving chess sets as a gift, not only to create space for critical thought, but to create relationships and connect people. And I connected with a gentleman at that time by the name of Tony Ballard. Tony Ballard was serving a 25-year sentence in the state of Kansas, and his brother Lamar is a dear friend of mine. And on his birthday, he said, Tony, on your birthday, I'm going to introduce you to my good friend. He's a real chess champion. He's in New York, and his name is Russ. So me and Tony began to play chess while he was incarcerated in his facility in Kansas. We started playing chess on the phone. I would set up my board in New York. He'd set it up over there, and we would play for hours. And the funny part was, when I said the game of chess has been a gift, I enjoyed those moments so much because it was a very difficult time for me. And I don't know if you guys ever found chess to be therapeutic, where you can
Oh, for
disappear into
sure. Absolutely.
you,
Yeah.
you can disappear into a game of chess. It was funny. My wife's like, "Hey, what about me? You're not speaking to me anymore. You're playing chess with Tony like all the time." And what's up? And I was like, I just find it's just such a space for me just to play chess and to talk and to find some solace. So those early moments coming out of COVID, we would play chess every day, multiple times a day. We were quite competitive. Tony, if he, if you say we're going to cross the street, he wants to beat you across the street. He's like a pretty competitive kind of guy. So I would beat him and he would beat me, and he would study and we would analyze the games. And a friendship was born, but I also shared that we were doing chess and giving the gift of chess to students across New York as a way to help them reconnect physically in a difficult time. And he said, Russ, I've been doing chess in prisons for the last many years. And in my darkest moments, when I was alone in solitary confinement with 23 hours alone by myself, all I had was me and my chessboard. I didn't even have a chessboard. What I had, you know, was toilet paper that would make it to a chessboard. But that's where I found hope and opportunity. That's been my
Mm.
entry point to kind of my rehabilitation was with the game of chess. So he told me that he said, I think that the game was just a cognitive rehabilitation tool that we could use to change lives for those that are incarcerated across the United States. And he once told me that penicillin was discovered because mold was left out, and they repurposed mold to create penicillin. And the guy won a Nobel Peace Prize and saved millions of lives. He said, I think chess is a tool in plain sight in the prison system that we can use to create cognitive rehabilitation for those who are incarcerated, give them the skills to be successful, not only in prison, but on release, but it also has incredible ability for mental health and confidence and helping people in prison that normally wouldn't connect with each other, say people from rival gangs or rival communities, to sit across
Mhm.
the board and see each other as a little more human and connect. So that's always incredible tool, and it's been in plain sight in the prisons for all these years. But he said, "Listen, I've been doing program," and I said to Tony after we developed a friendship, I said, "Do you want to become the director of prison outreach on behalf of the Gates of Chess? We will make it a commitment as one of our core pillars of our Chetas distribution going forward that we are going to reach prisons at scale." Well, sure enough, fast forward, that we're in nearly 300 prisons in the United States. Do you know that our chess programs and chess sets have reached prisons in probably 15 countries all over the world? And do you know that today, because of those early conversations, there's 5 countries in Africa and the United States that have teams because of our outreach with the gift of chess. They're now competing and giving those people that are incarcerated an opportunity of a lifetime. You know, once,
Amazing
once,
job.
once I got a letter from a mother, we held a chess tournament in the state of Kansas, and her son won second place, in the chess tournament. He got recognized. We gave him a certificate. It was signed by the Secretary of Corrections in the state of Kansas, Jeff Zamuda, and it was signed by me and signed by Tony Ballard, and actually signed by Dr. Corman. We gave him a certificate because he won second place. And his mother sent me a letter in the mail, and she said, "For the first time, he gave me the opportunity to be proud of my son."
Mm.
That was like,
That's
I was like, oh,
huge.
I was like, are you telling me that the simple entry point of chess and the chess competition could give these people all over the world today something that they can be proud of for themselves, maybe for their children, maybe for a spouse, maybe for the first time they're going to be recognized for something that's positive and intelligent, and how powerful that is, to their rehabilitation space. So when the mom told me that, her son all these years, and for the first time, us putting a simple chess set out and recognizing him for a tournament gave her the opportunity to be proud of her son. And she was telling all of her friends and all of his relatives that, how well he's doing because he placed and he got a certificate in the chess tournament. It really spoke volumes. And I've received thousands of letters in the mail because we're in so many prisons in the United States saying that what we take for granted, a simple chess that we have access to, we play it all the time. For many people, this is a lifeline. We have many opportunities. After today, you're going to go, and I don't know what your life's going to look like, but I'm going to go home to my family at some point. I'm going to go get dinner. I'm going to hang out with friends and family. For some people incarcerated, their only opportunity today is going to be access to that simple chess set where they can find some solace. And I know that to be true because I get thousands of letters all the time that suggest just that. So what Dr. Corman did is he took a game that already exists in the prison and he incentivized it through gamifying it through the Intercontinental Prison Championship. And that's why it spread like wildfire. We're giving these women and men incarcerated an opportunity to work together, to come together as a team, to do something meaningful, to win together, and to be celebrated. And through that, they're going to be rehabilitating themselves. And we need to scale this. People with
Yeah.
resources, if people, I don't care who you are, United Nations, UNICEF, all these people have resources. They need to put it into this because this is working. This is working. Sometimes you see things that don't work, and you see things that are working. This is truly working on a shoestring budget, and it needs the support. FIDE, Dr. Corman, International Prison Championship. We have a solution. The solution is getting access to chess and chess education, chess sets into prison, and giving them an outlet to compete and to be recognized. See, when there's a tournament, what are you going to do? You're going to practice, right? When you have a tournament, what are you going to do? You're going to start working on your game. When you work on your game, what are you going to do? You're going to rehabilitate yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the entry point of the competition globally, the Intercontinental Prison Championship, is so brilliant because it gives everybody all over the world an entry point to care about something that it's not just a casual game of chess. Your team has the opportunity to be the number one in the world.
Yeah,
And
it's a
from
real
this,
motivation. Motivation
no,
is there.
it's incredible what the motivation does and how that's inspired a grassroots movement across these prisons to participate. And you know that you guys watch the videos when these guys and women win, you can feel the pride through the
Oh,
screen.
yes. Oh,
You can
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
and if that doesn't touch you on a very human level, wow, because it's working. So I'm really proud of the work we've done. We distributed 50,000 chess sets across Africa in the last
Hmm.
2 years. Our goal was to get 1,000 chess sets to each country in Africa so that they can distribute 5 chess sets each, schools, prisons, refugee communities, orphanages. You know that in Africa, there's a lack of chess sets because they have no domestic manufacturing. And the cost of a chess set, which we take for granted, is prohibitive for probably a large portion of society. So
Hmm.
if you want to scale chess, you might have chess on your phone prior to having chess in a chess set. But you can't bring phones into prisons, right? And so the only entry point to have chess scale into prisons is chess sets, but there's no chess sets. We went to South Sudan. We donated 1,000 chess sets. They said the whole country only has 100 chess sets in the entire country. I was like, oh my, how are you going to grow chess without chess sets? So I think what we did is something so simple that maybe was overlooked is that you can't scale chess and chess education, chess opportunity, and you can't create grassroots programs without chess sets. And we need to develop manufacturing. We need chess manufacturing in Africa. We need to get the cost of chess sets available to everybody. We need the government to start buying chess sets. The governments that are running these prison systems, they have money for what? Programs. They probably give books. They have recreational. Maybe they have weightlifting. They need to invest in chess sets for their facilities. So there needs to be a line item budget in every federal government or state government to get chess sets at scale into these prisons. And then they need to begin to organize these teams with the entry point to create the reason why, where if they qualify, they can participate in the Intercontinental Prison Championship. Now, I'll tell you one thing if you want to hear it. Here's how I see it. In the United States, there's 50 states. Each state, what we've started in Kansas, that each state will have a championship in each facility in their state. So in Kansas,
Mhm.
there's 18 statewide facilities under the jurisdiction of the Kansas Department of Corrections. So Tony Ballard has gone to 8 personally physical chess sports tournament, 18 tournaments, and they're rated by the Chess Federation, either FIDE or US Chess Federation. So we're having a tournament championship once a year. Now the winners of that, okay, are playing online against all of the winners from all the other facilities in the state. So we have an online Kansas State Chess Championship. And you know what happens to the online Kansas State Chess Championship? They get plugged into a U.S. Championship online. And the U.S. Championship funnel into the Intercontinental. So we should have grassroots programs at every facility level, a physical tournament, then at every state level, if it's a state in India, or if it's a state in New York, or if it's a state in China, wherever it is, that municipality should have an online championship. The winners play in a national championship for the whole country, and then one team from each country qualifies, and then you have every country in the world playing an intercontinental championship, and you create grassroots demand because there's a large scale infrastructure around competition. And then what happens? What's the byproduct? You change millions of lives because you give them a simple tool to help them to think critically, to think patiently. Tony Ballard tells half the people that are incarcerated is because they thought in a second versus 3 seconds. Well, what does chess teach you? You can't make the
Take your
first
time.
move. Chess.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Yes.
1 second.
Take your time and calculate the consequences as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
For
Correct.
your actions.
And that's what he said. Even if the skill, that the more you play chess, the better you get, the slower you move, because the more you're thinking through the moves. If that even translates to people that are incarcerated, you'll probably solve a lot of the crimes that were committed because they're crimes of impulse, right?
Yeah.
So you have these things, and then obviously giving people the confidence to see themselves as smart. A lot of people in prison are recognized for their muscles, their strength, their ability to fight and survive on the streets. But are they ever recognized for being intelligent? Imagine the chess set where you say to somebody, wow, that was a great move. You're a smart guy. You're a critical thinker. You don't think that person would be like, oh, wow, maybe for the first time that I could use my brain to contribute to society versus using maybe my
Yeah,
fists
then he can
or
create
other,
a new identity for himself, like that I'm a
correct.
smart guy.
And chess is the simplest entry point at scale to create people to think themselves as smart for the very first time. When I grew up, I grew up in a town that didn't play chess. We played sports, and I was a closet chess player. But one of the reasons why I liked playing chess quietly was because people would say that I was a smart kid. I never heard that before. They said, wow, that was a really great move. And what was really
That's
great was
motivating for you, of course.
well, when my grandfather told me that, who I wanted nothing more than my grandfather to recognize me, because he was, he was the patriarch of the family. And when he was sitting and watching me play chess, he says, Russ, that was a very smart move. You're a clever young boy. Wow. I could maybe credit that to a lot of the things that I've done intellectually, because in my community at home, if you got chess, you got beat up, well, you weren't playing chess a lot. So but giving me the opportunity to be recognized for being intelligent was transformative for me. And I think if we gamify it, bring chess to the forefront, all the skills, and then really institutionalize it at the city, state, national level, global level, and then get chess sets into every facility in the world so they can create grassroots programs so that when they want to train for the Intercontinental Prison Championship, they have chess clubs and chess programs and the resources there where they can play. And so that's the gift of chess. I want to give a big shout out to a couple of people. I want to thank Dr. Corman. He's a dear friend. I'm truly inspired by the work that he's done. And he's an innovator. And he took the first step. Who organizes a global event? Well, Dr. Corman did, and it was because he had an idea and he dared greatly to make it happen. And look what it's grown into. I want to also thank Susan Namagali. She's the global head of the Gifted Chess, and she's led an incredible team. She got Malawi, but how difficult it is to get some of these teams to play in this tournament. I don't know if you realize how hard it is to get internet, and how hard it is to get computers, and how hard it is to get the authorities to approve such a thing. So what you see on a one-day thing, it's taken years of movement to get things that turn out to be one day. And she doesn't do it for herself. She does it for the men and women that are playing today. They'll have an opportunity. Maybe they can change their life. I also want to thank Phyllis from Nairobi. She created a partnership through the Gifted Chess with the government of Kenya to bring chess into prisons. And one of the fruits of that is now that there's 3 teams for the very first time across Kenya playing in this tournament today. And Phyllis, blood, sweat, and tears, without any real support from any institution, she pushed her way through because she believes in the value of the people that are playing. And she did it for the men and women playing today. She did it for them. And if you're listening to this, you should support her. Find out Phyllis, and it would be the greatest investment of your lifetime if you were to support what she's doing, because what she's doing truly works. I also want to recognize Charles, who's in Ghana, and he has a team playing. He sent me a photograph just recently, and he's got his team there, and they got their team shirts on, and they're excited. And so I'm so proud. I'm so proud of all of our people all over the world. I'm so proud of the FIDE for what you guys have done, and Dr. Corman, and I'm proud to be a part of it. And I hope if anybody listens, like I'll always say, you can reach out to me. My email is info@thegiftedchess.org. And we want to get chess sets to every prison facility in the world. Our goal is to distribute 1 million chess sets globally by the year 2030. But that's just the beginning. You deal with—
How are you guys doing on that, Ross? I actually wanted to ask you on that, because obviously your story is very inspiring, but your mission is also very inspiring as well. 1 million chessboards until 2030. How are you guys doing on—
We're doing well. We're about 125,000 chess sets in.
Ooh,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
Hey, listen, you got to start somewhere, right?
But that's already 1/10, even more than that. So it's not bad at all. It's very good.
I believe deeply in the work, and I invite anybody to come alongside of us. But when you find purpose, and I find purpose through the I'll never meet the people today that are playing that have been benefiting from it, but I know they are, and that's enough for me to keep on pushing. And it's not just me. We have a team of people that have dedicated their lives to this project. I'm sitting here in New York with a gentleman by the name of Tunde Onakoya. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with his work.
I was just about to ask you about him,
Absolutely.
because I know you're doing tremendous work
He's
with
a
him as well.
very famous guy also in the world of social chess. Hello, Tunde.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you too. There's 2 amazing men side by side. Thank you very much for the work that you're doing. That's really inspiring, and not only it helps the people that you're helping, but I hope very much that it inspires more people to start returning to the community. Some people in the chess world to give back to the communities, to whatever they can do, to teach somebody to play chess, to donate a chessboard, to give some lessons, whatever. Yeah, I think you inspire a lot of people, and that's amazing. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, now,
Thanks.
What's interesting is Nigeria is one of the largest countries in the world, well over 200 million people, and Tunde has created widespread awareness about the power of chess to transform lives of children, of people that are marginalized in different communities. But he's got the attention of the prison authorities in Nigeria as well, and he's launching a project across prison facilities in Nigeria. I don't know, Tunde, if there's anything that you can share about some of that.
Yeah, so we're doing that's in a place called Maiduguri. So Maiduguri is it's a state in Nigeria. It's a region that has been plagued for the longest time, by a lot of terrorist attacks. The city is healing, and we're looking for new ways to engage the people. And I've always said this, especially for us that probably used to play points. When we play chess for ourselves, and when we put our talents first us, and it serves our own interest, there's nothing wrong with that. The moment to decide to take that further and share with someone else, it becomes a gift. And so And the beauty of like giving that gift of your talent to others, it gives them a sense of belonging as well. And I think that is the very essence of this project for incarcerated people, to give them a sense of belonging to something, to somewhere. Ross and I have been to this island, one of the most dangerous prisons in the world, and we had such a very intimate moment just by playing chess and then sharing, our ideas with them on that day. And we also reciprocate this, with our project to the United Nations in Nigeria for the prison. And hopefully next year they will be good enough to join in the tournament. So, but we're just starting out, and I leave for Nigeria this evening, and I think the project is in November, so we're going to kick in November. So hopefully we have about a year to prepare them to be tournament ready. And, they can also join this global community into some place.
Thank you very much. And we will keep our fingers crossed for Nigeria to join next year, not only with men's, but also with women's and possibly youth teams. And thank you for joining us.
Can I share one more quick story, or are we up?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
So we've never told this story, but I'll tell it quickly. So in New York City, it's the largest correctional facility in the United States. It's just outside New York. It's called Rikers Island, and it's a place of great despair. I don't know if you've heard about it, but
of course,
they're trying to close it. But luckily, I was able to sneak chess sets in. Not when I sneak them in, and when you go through bureaucratic stuff, it's hard to get them in. But I got them in, and I got 500 chess sets in. And they started creating rap videos online where you see people playing and singing, like these were leaked videos, and our chess sets were always in them, And I didn't know whatever happened to the chess sets, because we went there with Tyrone Davis and we distributed chess sets. And I went into the cells, as a civilian.
Mm-hmm.
There was 48 people in a housing unit, and it was just me and a chess set. And you know what? I've never been treated more kindly. It was one of the most terrifying things, because you're conditioned. A place like Rikers Island, you go in there in street clothes. I had my Yankees hat on, I had my shirt on, and there's no security. And I go in 48 people into a prison cell where there's no security, just a chess set. And I've never been treated kinder. And me and Tyrone really had that forever impacted my life. But we brought 500 chess sets in, only to find out that these chess sets have flooded the whole island. So sure enough, a year later, they called me and said, we need more chess sets because we've got rid of all the 500. Like, everybody's using them. They're ending up all over New York State, because Rikers is a jail, but then they get sentenced to go to prison upstate New York. And the chess are leaving for Rikers, so now they're all over the state system. We need 500 more. And so I brought 500 more, but Tundi happened to be there at that day. So I said, couldn't Tundi and I go in and deliver the chess sets and play with the guys? And so we went in. Tundi and I went in and we played with the guys. And Tundi played chess with the guys, the top players on Rikers Island. And it was incredible to see how their game of chess reflects their life. They were creative. They were fighting. They never gave up. They were impulsive. Their openings were obscure. And they had this fighting spirit and way of playing chess. And I knew that at that moment, because they self-taught themselves as a means of survival that reflected the circumstances that they were in, is that if we can teach them in a different way, we can also help train them to have better habits, to be more successful in life. I knew that by watching the way that they played chess. And Tundi, actually, he lost a game, or he drew a game versus one of the players. It's one of the only games he lost while he was in New York. And these players are fighters, because their life represents fighting. If you have a fighting spirit, you certainly can contribute to society. If you can point that fighting spirit in a direction, the intelligence, obviously there, the savvy, the willingness to learn. And I just thought in that moment, seeing how their game reflected their life, that if we were able to teach them to be more thoughtful, because in all the games he played, they blundered in the most obscure positions, because when things got tough or when things got tight, they all made critical mistakes in most of the moments. And I noticed that the blunders were significant, and they always got upset. And I said, and it was just another instance in their life where they made another mistake. But imagine using the game of chess metaphorically to correct some of those ideas. I just saw incredible potential. So that's our story from Rikers. We got in, we got out. We gave another 500 chess sets, and we organized a championship. You guys will like this, called the King and Queen of Rikers Island. So there's 8 housing units in Rikers Island. So each housing unit had a championship where they played against each other. And then all the 8 units came together, and then we had an island-wide chess championship. We call it the King and Queen of Rikers Island. And the last thing I'll say is, obviously, I think, in chess, chess gives people the opportunity to have experience well beyond the 4 walls of a prison cell. And I've never been in the 4 walls of a prison cell, But if you can think of what it's like to be there for 23 hours a day, 1 hour out, and what the game of chess means for those people in those moments, again, once appeal to you, help us to get more chess sets for more people, because I know there's a lack of chess sets, and I know chess sets are highly valued. So help us bridge that gap, help us change lives, and thank you for your continued support. And good luck to all the teams playing. I look forward to a great day of chess. So thank you for having me.
Russ, Tunde, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for doing what you're doing. And your mission is inspiring a lot of people across the world. So once again, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. See you guys, and keep moving forward.